guys, so welcome to day 3 of our 30-day decluttering challenge. Today we're tackling dishes and bakeware. So I mean dishes like the 17 Christmas mugs that you have. I know you have them. Unless you have 17 friends that are coming Christmas morning for coffee, you need to get rid of some of your Christmas mugs. But I am going to tackle like baking pans today. This is a horror show. I'm gonna show you. There's like gross food that is, I never go in here because it's so dirty. Instead of cleaning it like a human, I leave it and ignore it and pretend that this doesn't exist. But today I'm showing you, it's literally sticky. My embarrassment. So, these are unused baking pans. I'm gonna purge them right now and clean them and clean in here because it's really gross. Okay guys, so this is mortifying, but I'm showing you anyways. These have something in them. Some sort of drippings from my stove. So I am going to wash them, and then I'm definitely purging like a lot. Oh, it gets worse the deeper I go. There's French fries in here. So I'm letting this go. And I think I have to wash this because I probably use it, some of them anyways. But I'm never gonna use this. So I have a Tinkerbell head baking pan. It's gonna go to someone who can actually use it. And this one looks scratched, so it's gonna go to, this is a horror show under here. I also have this little thing, which started out as cutting boards, and it got into baking pans somehow. Mostly because, I don't even know why. That's a lot of cutting boards. Cutting boards for another day. Only the ones that I love back, or that I use at least. I don't love any of them. Who loves baking pans? But I'm gonna put the ones I use back. So because I'm keeping 4 of these round ones, I can let this just lonely one that doesn't have a mate go. I'm gonna put the baking pans that I use the most often right on top. I'm actually pretty excited about this find. In the bottom I found a deep dish pizza pan that I didn't even know I had, so totally gonna keep that. Put these ones inside. You guys! I actually have a functional space for all my baking pans, and I'm getting rid of a ton, and I feel amazing. Check out this purge pile. I'm getting rid of so many pans that I never use that now I can easily access the ones that I do. Set your timer for 15 minutes and purge dishes or baking pans or glassware. Purge some type of bakeware or pans from your house today. So thank you guys so much for those of you who have stayed to the end. It is story time, and this story is slightly inappropriate. So if you have small children watching, you might want to not, I mean, it's not super inappropriate, but it's embarrassing and it involves nudity. So we're moving on. When I was in my early, why am I telling, I'm just telling you this. Because, so when I was in my early 20s, probably 23, 24, I just got my first apartment without a boyfriend. So I was in a really long-term relationship, and this was my first time without him in an apartment that was mine. And that gives you certain freedoms. Namely, you don't always have to wear clothing. You know what I'm saying? So I could clean my house without clothing on. And I was on the 14th floor, which was really the 13th floor, but they don't call it the 13th floor because apparently that's bad luck, so they skip, like they go from 12 to 14, but that's not the point. The point is, no one could see in windows or anything. I'm like way up in the sky. And so I was cleaning my apartment that I had just moved into without clothing on. And I gathered up all the garbage in a garbage bag, and without thinking, like I was just rocking out to music and like, forgot, I guess, that I was in the nude, and I stepped outside my apartment door to get to the garbage chute without clothing on, and the door shut, and instantly I was like, ah! It's one of those doors, like this is so stupid, but it's an apartment. When the door shut, it immediately locked, and unless you had the key, you couldn't open it. I locked myself out many a times of this apartment, but this time I was naked. So I had the garbage bag sort of like hiding myself. There was no one in the hall, but I was panicking. So I knocked on my neighbor's door. It was like this bachelor weird weird dude that lived next door. He was like crazy cat lady minus the cats, and he wasn't a lady, kind of weird. And he opened the door and I just burst into his apartment, and a normal person would have been like, yo, can I borrow some clothes or a blanket or a towel? And then like got the landlord, or use the phone to call the landlord to come and open the apartment. Not me. Not me. I'm not that bright. I barreled through his apartment, slid open his patio door, dropped the garbage bag, and climbed over his balcony onto my balcony, 14 stories up, with my butt to the world, my friends. And I had to hang over. Like I had to like, there was a space in between the balconies, so I'm hanging butt naked, shimmying across, and then I'm reaching and I'm using my muscle. I could have died at any moment. Like, how embarrassing would that have been? Naked girl plummets to her death. and that's how my body's fine, just splayed out on the pavement. Oh, embarrassing. I didn't die, thank God. But I almost did. Inside. I died inside. Because that was super embarrassing. And I had to see this poor weird dude for like the next year until I moved. It was like, don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. There's a lesson to be learned here. It's wear clothes when you clean the house. That's, or I leave a key under your mat. Either of those would have worked. I'll see you next time.